Hey, my friends, David Guido here, personal development coach, trainer, speaker, Zig Ziglar, legacy certified trainer, and author of the book, What If? 30 Days to Powerful New Perspective. So, I have a question for you. At the end of the day, when you're about ready to go to sleep, maybe even after your head has hit that pillow, and you're having the end of the day conversation in your head, what's that conversation like? Is it a positive conversation? Is it a negative conversation? Are you even having a conversation with yourself? What are the thoughts? What thoughts are running through your head as you're trying to, some people call it decompress, some people call it chill out, some people call it, just kind of drifting into sleep. Whatever it is for you, in those last few moments, what's that like? What kind of conversation are you having, or what kind of thoughts are you having in your head? You know, a lot of people out there, it's all negative, right? Who did what to them that day, what they, what the president said today, what the Congress said, the Senate, the House, whatever, what the media said, what they read on Facebook, what they did wrong, and what's eating at them, what a spouse said or a coworker said. Lots of negativity a lot of times runs through our head. There's a lot out there. But there's other people that are having very different conversations. There are people who don't have any conversations, right? You might be one of them. So that you don't even have the negative one, right? But there's a lot of people out there that are having very different conversations as they drift off into sleep. Their end of day recap is very different. And those people are happier and they're healthier. They've got more joy, they've got more peace. They're more productive. They have more energy because they're sleeping better. They have more passion, they have more desire, and they're more fulfilled. I've actually been both of those people. I'm the guy that, I for years and years I'd go to sleep at night, and those last few thoughts that I would have before I went to sleep, before I fell asleep, whatever it is for you, the last conversation was, well, they did this to me, or they did that to me, or I can't believe that person, or I don't like so and so, or I did some things that I shouldn't have done, and beat myself up. And then what I found as I started to make some changes is that there were a few things that I could talk about. There were a few things I could incorporate into that conversation that changed the game and gave me great sleep, a great night's sleep, that gave me greater peace, joy, happiness, fulfillment, and the next day greater productivity and more passion and more energy and more desire and better relationships. When you're centered in that place of peace and happiness and fulfillment, and you're humming along productivity wise, your relationships are going to be better. It all ties together. They all tie together. And so I found, and I discovered, and I believe fully now, that end of day conversation, that daily recap, that last conversation, that last bit of self-talk you have before you go to bed is every bit as important as the one you have in the morning. We talk about it. I've talked about it in this space, and I'm sure you've read it in a lot of other places. All those people who say you got it, that first conversation you have in the morning when you get up, have some great self-talk. Remind yourself how great you are. Talk about how grateful you are. Read and get yourself into a good book. Read a Bible passage. Do something that inspires and lifts you up and gets you ready for the day, gets you excited. We've all heard that. That end of the day recap is every bit as important. That self-talk, that conversation you have with yourself at the end of the day, at the end of the night, is every bit as important as that one in the morning. And so we're going to look at 5 things to discuss with yourself. The 5 things that if you start to have this conversation with yourself, if it's while you're sitting on the end of your bed, while it's when you're doing some meditation, if it's when your head hits the pillow, you have that last conversation with yourself, which is when it happens for me. That's when I do these 5 things. And if you do these 5 things, you're going to see all of that stuff go to the next level. Your happiness, your peace, your joy, your fulfillment, your productivity, your relationships, your passion, your energy, your desire, all of that, your health, because you're going to sleep better. So what are those things? The first thing that you should absolutely be discussing with yourself is what you're grateful for that day. See, so often we get caught up in what it is we're upset about, and we forget about how many things we have to be grateful for. And that could simply be the food on your plate. That could be the clothes on your back. That could be that it was a sunny day after 12 straight days of clouds. It could be that somebody helped you. It could be for your spouse, for your children, for your family. We have literally hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, if not more, things to be grateful for. And I know for me, one of the pieces of the last conversation that I have with myself every night is, what am I grateful for today? What happened that I'm grateful for? What do I have? What did I have? What did I experience? What am I grateful for? And I have that conversation with myself. That's the first thing you want to do. The second thing is, what went well? And what can I learn from what went well? And if you're sitting there right now going, I had a miserable day today. Tell me what to do today, right? Because we all have those days, right, where everything goes wrong. Everything goes wrong. And we get, at the end of the day, we're like, okay, nothing went right today. Is that true? Did you have 10 minutes with your spouse? Did you have 10 minutes with your child? Did you have 10 minutes to reflect in a car ride on your own? Did one thing go right at work? Did you smile at somebody and they smiled back and you made them happy? Every single solitary day, something goes well. Something. Even if 98, 99, 99.9% of the day doesn't go well, something did go well. And so I always reflect on that. I can find something good in every day, and so can you. And then what did I learn from that? What does that teach me about how to recreate that in the future? What lesson can I learn that will help me in the future recreate that, so I have more good things to think about at night when I put my head down on the pillow? Number 3 is the exact opposite. What didn't go well? And what do you learn from that? Because we don't want to put our head in the sand and pretend like everything's great. We don't want to put our head in the sand and pretend there are no problems with us or with the world or anything. But what do we learn from that? The things that we didn't like, the things that we didn't do well, the things that went poorly, the things that didn't go our way, what do we learn from that? You know, Thomas Edison, you've heard the story, failed 10,000 times, right, at inventing the light bulb. Or did he? When the reporter asked him, how does it feel to fail 10,000 times? He said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I successfully figured out what didn't work 10,000 times. Are you having that kind of conversation with yourself at the end of the day? Because that's in reality what failure is. Remember what the great Zig Ziglar always said. Failure is not a person. Failure is simply and strictly an event. Failure is an event. And if you learn from it, it's actually, in most cases, one of the best things that ever happens to you. It carries the deepest and strongest meaning because it propels you to new heights, because you do things going forward differently. So are you having that conversation with yourself as your head hits the pillow at night going, okay, today that didn't go well, but here's what I learned why it didn't go well, or here's what I think I can do tomorrow so it will go well tomorrow. As opposed to just, yeah, that didn't go well today. Good night. Which doesn't do anybody any good, especially you, right? Number 4, who did you serve today? And serve is a big, sometimes people hear that, they hear serve and they think, oh, well, I didn't go to the shelter today, or I didn't donate to the person on the street looking for money today, or, they think of serve in a big capacity kind of way. Serving can simply be, you know what? My spouse, every day when my spouse comes home, they do these 3 things first. They empty the trash, they wash the dishes, they whatever it is that they do. I'm going to do that today for them. So when they come home, they don't have to do it. That's a small way to serve somebody. Making 10 minutes for your child is a way to serve them. Helping the person at work by putting the paper in the copier so that the person that's typically in charge doesn't have to do that. Going and getting lunch for somebody who is on crutches at work so they don't have to make their way through the maze of people on crutches. There are tiny things you can do every day. And if you don't serve somebody, instead of laying there and beating yourself up and thinking, well, I didn't serve anybody today, woe is me, think, okay, well, I didn't die. And what can I do tomorrow? Who can I serve tomorrow to make sure that I get to do that the next day? There are days where my goal is to serve somebody every day, and there are days I don't meet that goal. I'm busy, I'm tired, I don't feel well, I get caught up, and the end of the day comes, I put my head in the pillow and I go, you know what, I really don't think I served anybody today. But tomorrow, I learned that the reason I didn't was because I got caught up in this one project. That was my window of time that I could have served somebody. So tomorrow, I'm not going to let that happen. I learned from it. And the last thing to think about as you lay your head down, that last conversation, the last self-talk of the day, is what's tomorrow going to look like? And what's tomorrow going to look like from 4 perspectives in particular? What am I grateful for? What am I excited about? You know, what kind of things am I excited for tomorrow? A project, a meeting, a vacation, a dinner, a lunch, time with my children, time with my spouse. The fact that I get to go to work and get paid when so many people don't. What are you excited about for the next day? There's always something to be excited about. You get to see somebody, you get to learn something, you get to experience something, you get to try something new, you get to complete a project, you get to hang out with the right people. There's something to be excited about every day. Think about that. And what are you grateful for coming up for tomorrow? Not just excited about it, but what are you grateful for? You know, I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to serve that person tomorrow. I'm so grateful I get the opportunity to participate in that meeting or that project or travel to that place. Have the attitude of gratitude. As Zig always said, the attitude of gratitude is the greatest attitude you could ever possibly have. The third thing is, who am I going to serve tomorrow? Especially if today you didn't. You know, when you lay your head down, you go, I didn't really get to serve anybody. Make it a focus point. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to make sure I take 2 minutes and serve somebody at work and make their job easier. I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'm going to serve my child and make their life easier, my spouse, or a friend of mine. Think about who you can serve the next day and get yourself pumped and excited for that. And then last, your goals, your to-do list. Think through and plan through what's coming up tomorrow. What am I going to do tomorrow? And get excited about it and get grateful for it. Very often, because sensationalism and negativity sells, we get caught up in those negative trains of thought that we just get on that track and go. And it affects us all the way through to the end of the day. And then we either have negative thoughts as we fall asleep, or we shut ourselves off from the world and just think, I'm not thinking about anything. But the people that are the happiest and the healthiest and have the most peace and joy and fulfillment and the best relationships, and the most passion, and the most energy, and the most desire, the people who sleep the best, are the people that as their day comes to an end, as their day comes to a close, as their eyes close, they think about what they're grateful for. They think about what they learned from their successes. They think about what they learned from the things that didn't go well. They think about who they served and who they can serve tomorrow. And they think about what they're excited about and grateful about and what they have to do that's so awesome and wonderful and powerful the next day. So if you do those things and experience all of that, you are on your way. Those are all components: the happiness, the health, the peace, the joy, the fulfillment, the relationships, the passion, the energy, the desire. That's all part of the So Good life. So thank you for watching. As always, thank you for reading. Share this with people. You know, people who are just caught in that negative mindset. Share this with them and help bring them, lift them up, give them a different perspective, a different approach maybe to end their day. And until the next time, get out there every single day and discover something new. Reach for your dreams every day. Go for it and live the life that is so good.